Hi beautiful people, welcome to Kate's Space. I'm Kate from Pixie Designs. Welcome to my channel, so great to have you here today. I am just popping on to show you some video footage that I made preparing a junk journal cover. So I've had this old book for a while, a book cover. The book was given to me by Kerry, and Kerry, if you're watching, thank you so much. I finally got round to using this cover. Now I am not using it as is. I have decided that I want to cover it with something and prep it. So I thought I'd just do a bit of a voiceover and show you what I'm doing, because this was done over a period of time because it required drying. Now as you can see, I'm taking the spine out. It is actually quite a decent sized spine, but I'm not sure how big or fat the journal that I'm making or planning to make is to go in here. And so I'm taking the spine out completely and just tidying it up with my knife. I haven't really thought about what kind of spine I want. I think maybe I'm going to use fabric of some description. Now, this is quite a decent size book, quite a big book, bigger than sort of an A4. So yeah, it's going to be quite a nice big journal. So here I am just checking that I've got the piece I want for the front and the piece that I want for the back. I think there's a divot or a dent in one of the pieces, so I'm going to use that for the back and use the better quality one. Now, what I decided I want to try and use is one of my music score covers. As you know, I'm very partial to these and I buy them whenever I see them, and I've got quite a few. And I basically hold on to them, look through them, and can't bring myself to use them. So I thought that what I would do is use this for the cover. I don't really know how it's going to work out, so there you can see I'm just adjusting the camera so that you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm standing up too, by the way. Now this paper is pretty fragile. It's quite heavy, but it's very, very old. And so what I'm thinking now is, how am I going to strengthen this, because it's going on the cover and I want it to have longevity. I want it to be quite sturdy. So normally I would cover it in tissue maybe at the back, but this time I've decided I'm going to use this paper. I have a roll of this. It's almost like a heavy sketch paper, or maybe wall lining to go under wallpaper. I'm not entirely sure, but it's really beautiful paper. I love printing on it and all sorts, so it's really, really nice, and it's got this lovely cream texture, and I feel like attaching it to that and then putting it on the cover is going to just give it that much more sturdiness. So that's what I'm looking at now, just sort of seeing how that's going to work, and then I go about sort of gluing it together. So as you can see, I've put down a mat on my mats to try and protect it from the glue, because this is going to be messy. And I'm just using a PVA, and I'm going to use this old paintbrush just to brush it round. I want to get a really good coating so there are no air bubbles, but I don't want it to be really, really wet. So it's kind of that real balance with this glue. It's a wet glue, and of course it takes time to dry, but once it's dry and if you've given it a good coating, it is really, really good, and I know it's not going to go anywhere. So that's why I'm choosing to use this glue. There'll be no gaps like you get with a glue that you just kind of squirt on with a bottle. There's always going to be gaps. So this way I'm getting a really lovely smooth coating, and I'm putting on this nice heavy paper, which is also vintage as well, but it's like really good. So that's going to make this really strong. So that's what I'm doing there. Then what I do, after I've just really made sure that's nicely adhered to the music sheet, we can see I'm shifting it there, so it's got a little bit of give, you've got a bit of time to get it really, really nice and perfect. So then I'm just turning it round and doing the other side, and I put another piece of paper on that other side. So the whole sheet of music cover is basically reinforced with this beautiful thick sort of, I don't know, maybe it's 120 GSM paper that I'm adding to this, and that beautiful cream. So it's not white either, so I don't have to go worry about the white showing either. So yeah, again, using my brush, getting a really good coating, make sure there's no patches on that paper that I'm sticking this other paper to, making sure there's no patches where there's no glue, so that there won't be any air bubbles. It'll just be really seamless, and I'm just butting that piece of paper right up to the other one and making sure there's no gap there as well. So that's pretty much what I do, and then I just check from the other side that I'm happy with how it looks. Give it a real gentle sort of going over with the bone folder, or you could use a brayer for that. Not too heavy with that, because you don't want to then, if it's slightly damp, you don't want to rip the paper, especially this beautiful old paper. Look how gorgeous that is. I just absolutely love it so much. Okay, so that's that job done. So as often happens when I'm filming something and it's day to day or whatever, I forgot to film the part where I actually put the prepped music cover onto the book covers. So I'm just explaining here how I glued, once it was dry, I glued it on, then cut around it with the knife on the front and also on the back. Now this is supposed to be the cover for my guest design team project for Lydia at Raindrop Lila. That's the plan. It is taking me a very, very long time. I'm just in one of those little slumps at the moment, so yeah, who knows. But as you can see, I've put that bit, I split it in half and fitted it onto the cover. And so what I want to do now is protect it again. So I've strengthened it, glued it onto the boards, and now I want to protect it from everyday use. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use Mod Podge. So Mod Podge is like a sealer, a protector kind of product. It's also a glue. Lots of people don't like it because they say it leaves this kind of sticky feel to the projects. I've never had that problem, but I am going to do something as well to make sure that doesn't happen. So basically I'm going to just spread the Mod Podge over these covers and then let it dry. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time trying to get rid of my brush marks because I don't really know how to do that. So I'm going to kind of do it a little bit rough, so you're going to be able to see the brush marks. That's not everyone's cup of tea. You can see I haven't used this Mod Podge for a while because the paper cover was all stuck to it, and that's me getting all mucky taking it off. So anyway, I've got my mat down, I've got my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to go over with it. I'm going to be quite generous. I really, really want this cover to be really tough, and this is really the only way I know for it to be like that. I could use matte medium, but I'm going to use that for the image. I think that's going to go on top of here because, yeah, I don't have heaps and heaps of matte medium. It's quite expensive, and so I think I've got a lot of Mod Podge. I've used it before in this way, and it's worked really well for me. So yeah, so I'm just spreading it on. I mean, I'm not trying to make it look really terrible, but I am aware that you are going to see the brush strokes, and I'm just not going to let that bother me because I'm not an artist. I don't really know how to do it, so you can't see the brush strokes, basically. I don't know if there's a way, whether you put it on thicker or thinner or what the story is. Someone might be able to tell me below. But anyway, I'm not bothered about the brush strokes. This is a junk journal. It's going to look a little bit sort of rustic as well, and actually some of it, quite a lot of it's going to be covered. Not all of it, obviously, because I love the graphics on here, but some of it is actually going to be covered over. So yeah, so that's that job. I basically just continue to get this on, try and make it look as smooth as I can, and then I'm going to put those boards aside and I'm going to let them dry. And in actual fact, I'm going to let them dry fully overnight. I'm not going to do anything else to them for a full sort of like 12 or 24 hours. So these images here that I'm showing you now are from Art House Whimsy, Tracy, and I know a lot of people are familiar with these images. This is from She Has Flowers, and I'm thinking I'm going to use one of these images on the front. So these I also want to prep. Now I've printed these onto a matte photo paper by Epsom. It's a heavier paper, I think it's 160 maybe GSM, and I am going to protect these with matte medium. So again, I want them to have longevity. I don't want them to get all scratched, although if they get a little bit sort of scratched, that's okay, because that's kind of the vibe, the vintage vibe that I like. But yeah, I want to also have them so they're protected. So I'm deciding which ones I want. I'm pretty sure that I either want that one there or the other one with the flowers and the hair. So those are the two I'm going to put matte medium on. And again, it's just a matter of trying to brush it on, get a really nice coverage, and when you put it on, it does go cloudy. Again, the other thing I have done is I printed these the day before, so they have been sitting as well and are completely dry. I was just trying to be just really patient and not rush anything, so that I really didn't have to do anything more than once, which is why this video is so sort of all over the place, I guess, because I had to remember to keep turning the camera on each day. But yeah, so I'm trying not to put too much on and not too little. Again, you will see the brush strokes. Like I said, it does make it look kind of cloudy, but it dries clear and it gives a really, really good protection. And yeah, I'm obviously a bit worried there that I put a bit too much on, but anyway, but they do turn out really good. So again, I'm putting the matte medium on these. It's a Liquitex matte medium, and I do the two, and then again I let them dry overnight as well, so that they are completely dry when I choose to cut them out and use them. So here are the boards all dry. You can see they've got a little bit of a sheen to them, even though the Mod Podge is matte. I don't use gloss. Imagine if you use gloss, if this is what the matte looks like. But there's a little bit of a shine to it. I don't mind. That's protective. And also you can see these are the images that I've put the matte medium on. They're all nice and dry as well. So the next job that I want to do, and again I'm going to leave it to dry overnight, is cover the Mod Podge only with the Ultra Cover Matte Clear. And it's like an acrylic sealer, and this will solve any problems with the Mod Podge being sticky or tacky. So that's what I'm doing now. So where are we at? This is quite a few days. I mean, this is probably a week or two later. I have been looking at this journal and putting it down, looking at it and putting it down. Now, I'm really happy with how the boards look, and I sealed them with that acrylic sealer. I did all that outside because you need to do it in an aerated area, because it's actually quite potent, the smell of it. So I sprayed them, and they've got a little bit of a bend, as you can see, but that will just straighten out. I've chosen this image, and I've backed that with some heavy card, and I'm really happy with how that's looked. And I've actually cut a little bit off the top and maybe a little bit off the bottom, just so it's not so too tall. And I'm putting it on, not that one, that's the back. So I'm just working out which way they go. That's the back. Right, so this is my front. I'm just turning them around because the raw edge, if you like, where I cut the spine off, I want on the left hand side. And so this is the image I'm thinking of using, and you can see how the flowers on the original image of the board kind of continue up out of where the flowers are, and that's kind of the look I wanted, and I'm really happy with that. And then I thought, oh well, I'll put some of this really old lace underneath and maybe these metal corners, and really that's as far as I got. Oh my gosh, it's just, I don't know, you guys will understand. And I'm thinking I want to use this fabric. I actually really like it wonky like that too, but again, I may straighten it up. And I have this beautiful pink, it's sort of a rosy pink velvet ribbon that I got from Gisela at Lavish Laces, that I purchased from her, and I really want to use that. I think it just looks really beautiful with that fabric, and I think it looks really good with the kit that I'm using. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And of course, I'm trying really hard to not make the spine and cover before I've done the insides. And so that's why I haven't gone any further with this cover, because I don't know how big the journal's going to be. So here I'm just showing you, I'm wondering whether I might use some linen through the inside. But yeah, I'm really unsure. So I've got a whole lot of linens aside. I've got the velvet ribbon. I've got that sort of like furnishing fabric, and I've got my image, but I haven't really got to the point where it's all just really gelling for me. So that's as far as I've got with this cover, basically. But I just thought I would share with you sort of the prep that I did for it, and then if there's some interest, I could continue and show you how it turns out, or how I move forward with finishing this cover. So let me know below if you're interested. And while I'm here, I'll just show you a little bit. I have started putting the signatures together. Lydia will be pleased about that. If you're watching, Lydia, I am so sorry this is taking me so long. But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, I've got 5 signatures, and I've started a little bit of decoration. But yeah, I keep putting it down. I've used some quite old papers in here. They're a little bit delicate, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe should I swap them out for something else? But I really, really like using my old things, because that's why I have them. So I don't want to not use them because they might tear. And again, I don't mind the tearing. So yeah, so these are some of the pages I've put together so far. I actually quite like it. I just have come to a bit of a standstill with the decorating. So yeah, I'm hoping that this journal will be finished. I've got my granddaughter coming for the holidays on Monday. Today's Friday, so I will not be doing too much crafting around, for myself. I'm sure I'll do some with Ella, and I'm really looking forward to having her and spending some time with her. She's 11 now, can you believe it? And yeah, those days may come where she doesn't want to come and stay with her Mima anymore, so I'm just really going to make the most of it. David and I both are, so we're looking forward to that. Oh, let me know what you think. Yeah, I'm really struggling. What shall I do with the spine? I mean, I could do an open spine, but that's a lot of signatures for an open spine. I think it will need more support. So I'm thinking the fabric, but I love how that velvet ribbon looks with that beautiful. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite images from the kit. I'm using Cornelia's Garden if you're interested. It's in Lydia's shop. So yeah, watch this space. Let me know below if you're interested in any more videos around this. I'm not making so many videos anymore, but I'm really, really happy if there's some interest to show my process. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube at the moment. There's so many videos to watch. But yeah, I'm really, really happy to show some more of my process. If you're interested, let me know. I hope you're all well. I love touching base with you here, and I really love your comments and your support. I really appreciate it. I'll see you again soon, I hope, in the next video. Okay, see ya, bye.